We are taught that our emotions happen to us. We are somehow led to believe that the stuff outside of us creates how we're feeling. And this is not true. We do emotion, we create emotion. We put these three things together. Excuse my terrible drawing and handwriting. We focus on something, we use a certain type of language, and we hold our body in a certain way. These three things create a neural pathway in your brain that creates a physiological effect in your body that creates your emotions. You put these three things together, you run a pattern, you do it for decades, it's like a reflex, you don't even realize that you're doing it. So I'll give you an example of this. I had a client who struggled with winter. She did not like the winter. What she chose to believe, what she chose to focus on is winter is hard for me. And when you have a belief like this, your brain will seek evidence of it. So she had a collection of memories of difficult times in the winter. Now, I'm pretty sure she also had difficult times in other seasons in the year, but her brain will discard those memories because it doesn't fit with this belief and only focus on the bad times in winter. So that's what she chose to believe. That's what she chose to focus on. The language she used was emotive. Winter is tough for me. Winter is hard. I don't feel good in winter. I can't, all the things I can't do in winter, she could list them very easily. That language matters. It creates your emotions. And then what do you do with your body? When you don't even have to be in winter, you can just think about winter and you will slump down, you will hunch over, and that creates a neural pathway in your brain, and that will create emotion in your body. So bringing yourself into awareness of these three things is how you understand how you are creating your emotion. It's also how you develop the ability to focus on what you can control rather than what you can't control. So when you're focusing on something as far out of your control as the weather system, as the seasons, you're going to feel awful. But when you bring your attention and your time and your energy onto what am I focusing on, what's the language I'm using, and what am I doing in my body, you're bringing your attention onto what you can control, and this will make all the difference. And once you're into awareness of these three things, you can start nipping it in the bud. You can start nipping these neural pathways in the bud. You can start diverting the neural pathway. So you start small and you start changing your physiology. When you notice the pattern that you're running, you start to change your physiology, and that will interrupt neural pathways, and that will change how you are feeling. So I'll give you an example. If you're feeling anxious or scared or upset and I scream fire, I'm pretty sure you'll stop thinking, you'll stop focusing on that experience, and you'll run out of the house. If I told you you just won the lottery, I'm pretty sure you would, in a moment, your focus would switch and you would forget. Think about when someone's crying and you make them laugh. In a moment, their emotional state has changed. You can change emotional states in a moment. This is good news. If you're creating the emotions you don't like, you can also create the emotions you do like. And there's been lots of research done on this. Harvard did a study on the power pose. This is standing like Wonder Woman with your hands on your hips, standing like this for 2 minutes. They studied this. It changes your physiology. So The brain doesn't know the difference between real or imaginary. That's why you can feel very, very anxious and physically afraid when you're not in danger. So if you can create that, you can create the feelings that do feel good. And this is the emotional gym. I teach my clients, just like you work out your physical body, just like you have to clean your house every day, or, whatever it is, once a week and once a month, whatever you like. You need to work out your emotions, and you can practice emotions. You can use for practicing feeling good, going back to good memories, going back to good feelings, using photos, using mementos, using music. You can take yourself back there. When I was doing this work every morning, I would spend 5 to 10 minutes just remembering a special memory. I would use a photo, use a memento, use a special piece of music, and I would just take myself back there. This is the emotional gym. I had to work out the experience of feeling good. I didn't know how to do it. I'd been running negative pathways for so long. I didn't, feeling good was something I did a fraction of the time. So I was very good at feeling bad, and I had to learn how to feel good. It was an active, something active that you can do. You're in control of this. And I've got a second little concept for you that's going to help you with this. Where are we? Right. Yes, here it is. Emotional rules. So it's a simple little exercise that I want you to do. What is it that you want to feel? You want to feel more love. Maybe you want to feel safer, more secure in life. Do you want more peace? Do you want to feel more in control? What are the feelings that you want to feel? Now take a moment and think, when do you feel like this? When do you feel like this? Think back, might be a specific memory, or when in your week do you have these feelings? And I want you to write a list of when you feel like this. So, for example, do you feel satisfied and accomplished when your to-do list is done, when the house is clean, and you've batch cooked meals for the week? Is that how you create the feeling of satisfied, accomplished, on top of things? So writing a list of all those kind of things. And when you've done that, take a look at that list. These are your emotional rules for this emotion. These are your rules. These rules determine how easily and how frequently you feel this emotion. And taking a look at that list, I want you to ask yourself, are you making it easy or hard to feel this emotion? So, your rule for love. Could it be, I feel love every time my partner takes the bins out, or I feel love when I get an expensive gift? Which rule is going to make it easy or hard to feel love? If it's a completed to-do list, that is how you feel peaceful and satisfied and on top of things, I'm going to suggest to you that's making it hard, because to-do lists are never completed. The tasks of life are never done. And taking a look at that rule, you can change it. You can flex it. And I'll share with you an example from my own life of where this very, very simple concept really made a big change for me. And that was in my relationship. So I am a tactile person. I like lots of hugs and kisses. No problem with that, except that my partner isn't a tactile person. He didn't grow up with hugs and kisses, so it's not something he thinks to do. It's not natural for him. So I wasn't getting many hugs and kisses. Now, I used to tell him all the time, I want more hugs and kisses, but I never got them. I would go and ask for a hug, and he would give me one, but it would feel fake and it felt unloving to me, and I would get angry and I would say, this is forced, it's not genuine. And if you can imagine the interactions that were going on between us, I'd gone and asked for a hug, I'd been given a hug, and then I got angry. And if you can imagine, what I was doing is I was communicating in the emotions of shame, blame, and guilt what I wanted, and therefore my message was not landing. And this went on for years. I would complain constantly and nothing would change, and I didn't understand why. Now, it was doing this work and uncovering the rule that I had for love was that the affection had to be spontaneous. It had to be unasked for. And I didn't know I had that role. And that's why this dynamic was happening between us, where I would go and ask for a hug and then get angry about the hug because it wasn't meeting my rule for love. So when I uncovered that rule, I just made a simple decision. I decided to change the rule, and I changed it to this: an asked for hug is just as special as an unasked for hug. So I decided I can create the feeling of love for myself by changing this rule. So we'll go and get my hug and I would feel love. And I was happy. I would get this hug and I would be happy and I would love the hug. And it would be a nice interaction between me and my partner. And so the emotion I was communicating in changed from the shaming and the blaming and there's something wrong with you, you're unemotional, you're not tactile, you need to do more. I changed my communication for that emotion and that kind of style of communication to, this is lovely, I love this. And finally, my communication landed. My husband got the message. Oh, hugs make her happy. They used to make her sad. They used to make her angry. Hugs make her happy. And now I get love all the time. I get hugs all the time. So it was just this simple awareness of this rule, because you don't realize most of this is unconscious. Simple awareness of the rule. I get to change it. I get to keep it, or I get to change it. It's up to me. I'm in control. This is what I can control. Changed everything. Now I get hugs all the time. So I hope that was helpful. Thanks.